What's going on, everyone? So let's talk about Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker signed an Exhibit 10 with the Boston Celtics, and the Laker fans are losing their minds. I think it's a little silly. Look, I like Lonnie Walker. I am very thankful for what he did in that Warriors series, right? I mean, single-handedly in that fourth quarter, just absolutely took over and was just very impressive. I understand he's a Laker fan favorite. I understand fans love Lonnie Walker and want Lonnie Walker back on the Lakers. I do also think that a bit of it is the Boston Celtics, right? If he went to another team, I don't think people would be as mad, but because it's the Boston Celtics, people are a little more upset than they would have been otherwise. But a couple things. One, it's an Exhibit 10, right? He still has to make the roster. Will he even make the roster? He might end up getting let go, and he might be out of a job. Two, no other team in the league wanted to go and sign Lonnie Walker. The only team that was willing to sign him was to an Exhibit 10 deal, right? I like Lonnie Walker. He is a bucket getter. He is 38% from three, right? He has the things that are exciting, right? He's hyper athletic, he's flashy, especially when he's cooking and he's got things going, but he also doesn't really do anything else. He's not a great playmaker. Not saying he can't make the occasional play, but he's not a great playmaker. He's not a good defender, right? There's a reason he can't find work, right? He's still young. He's still, again, hyper athletic, all of those things, but when he can't defend and he's a liability on the basketball court, especially when he's not scoring the basketball, and he's kind of just become this journeyman, and people want the Lakers to go rush to the door to go get him. Again, I don't really get it. But the biggest factor is let's say we could sign Lonnie Walker. Who is he playing over? Where is he playing? Right? Again, doesn't defend. We already have that issue with D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves, but at least both of those guys actually do other things, right? And not just that, but again, who is he playing over? Okay, let's say you got D'Lo and Gabe Vincent as your ones, right? So Lonnie Walker's not playing over those guys. Let's say the two is Max Christie or Austin Reeves starting, Max Christie the backup, right? Okay, so could he be the third two guard? Sure, but you have D'Lo who could slide over, Gabe Vincent who could slide over, Dalton Connect who could slide over. I'd rather have Dalton Connect than Lonnie Walker. And then you look at the three spot, and it's Rui, Jared Vanderbilt, Dalton Connect. So he's not going to play at the three spot, which he'd be undersized at the three. He'd be tiny at the three. So he really is, playing the guard position. But even at the guard position, who is he playing over? You're not playing him over D'Lo. I know people like D'Lo's trash, D'Lo's this. He's better than Lonnie Walker, right? Gabe Vincent gives you the defensive side of things, right? And he's a solid fit alongside Austin Reeves or a D'Angelo Russell at times, where a Lonnie Walker and D'Lo or Lonnie Walker and Austin Reeves is probably worse than D'Lo and Austin Reeves. And then, again, even at the two guard, it's I'd rather have Dalton Connect, who would be a bigger two, play that spot. Even Jalen Hood-Schifino. I know some people look and Jalen Hood-Schifino's a bust and he's this and he's that and all that stuff, which I don't agree with. Again, it's kind of hard to know what Jalen Hood-Schifino is or isn't when he's only played 3 minutes in garbage time on average, right? And he's not getting attempts, not getting anything, but we just saw him in the G League, tearing up the G League, and he was the best player nightly in the G League. I understand the G League isn't the NBA, but it's a good sign when your 20-year-old rookie is better than everybody in the G League, right? It's a good sign that he's going to be great. Plus the Lakers, all we heard last training camp was how great he is, but even if offensively, right? Lonnie Walker's probably better than Jalen Hood-Schifino offensively, unless Jalen Hood-Schifino does come in and he shoots I think he shot 43% in the G League. If that translates, then that's different. But let's go into the assumption that he's not better offensively than Lonnie Walker. He's bigger, he's stronger, he still has the athleticism, not like Lonnie. I mean, Lonnie Walker is a specimen athletically, but again, Jalen Trufino would be more versatile at the point or the two, gives you defense, gives you size, right? I'd rather have a 6'6" guy out there at the two that can defend as your third guy that can also make some plays and do other things on the basketball court than Lonnie Walker, who's just coming in as a vacuum scorer. If you really want just like a vacuum scorer off the bench, then you might as well just move Austin Reeves to the bench. Boom, problem solved. Austin Reeves can go give you 17 a game off the bench, right? Like, Again, I understand Lonnie Walker is a fan favorite. I liked Lonnie Walker on the Lakers, right? I thought it was fun for the time that we had. And he was very good for us during those stretches and during those moments. But it wasn't also translating to winning, right? We were terrible with him in the starting unit, right? And then he's going to go and he's going to be the backup. Okay, so he's coming off the bench. How many shot attempts? How much opportunity? Is he going to be able to give you enough offensive production to make it make sense, right? Like if he gets in the game and he's only getting 5 attempts per game and he's only giving you 6 points a game, but he's giving up, 12, right? Like then it's irrelevant. Like, yeah, sure, he'd have a game here and there where he goes get you 20. Like the Lakers' issue isn't scoring. The Lakers' issue isn't a guy going downhill. And I know some people are probably going to look at this video and go like, oh no, Lonnie Walker's this, that, and the other. He's this great player. Then how come he can't get a job? How come there's not a single team in the league, good or bad, that are truly interested in Lonnie Walker? The Celtics aren't even truly interested in Lonnie Walker. They're looking at it as like, hey, let's give him an Exhibit 10. It's a win-win situation. If he looks great, then we sign him. If he doesn't look great, then we let him go after that Exhibit 10, after the training camp deal, and then all is good. Right? If he was this great player and he was this great, he wouldn't be a journeyman. He struggled to get playing time pretty much everywhere he's been. Right? And there's a reason behind that. I understand the nostalgia and just the love because particularly that Warriors game, and he was kind of the one bright spot in an abysmal start to a season, right? Like, and so there's this sense of like, man, like, you're reminiscent on the good days, but if you really take a second, right, and you really look at Lonnie Walker and you look at the situation, you start to realize that like, the good days weren't that great, right? Like, it's like, you have that fond memory with somebody and it's like, man, I really miss hanging out with that person. Man, I really miss the times that we had together. And then you really start reminiscing on that stuff and you're like, yeah, I mean, there was a couple good moments, but overall, right? Like it wasn't great, right? Like overall, there were some real questions. Maybe I shouldn't have, hung out with that guy as much as I did, right? Like it's just, I like Lonnie Walker. If we had a need for just like a bucket getter off the bench, sure. But again, you have D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Dalton Connect now, right? Like, and that's not counting LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You got like 6-7 guys that you're hoping can go get you 15 to 20 a night. The last thing the Lakers need is a non-defensive guard, right? Like if he was excellent defensively, right, and he could be a point of attack defender and then also shoot 38% from three, one, he probably wouldn't be on the market still. Two, he probably would have, the Lakers probably would go get him or kept him, right? Like, but the thing is that like, you look at Lonnie Walker and it's just like, yeah, he's really good at one thing, right? But it's the consistency. I mean, even with the Lakers, he was inconsistent at times, right? But we remember these stretches, remember these gaps, these moments where it was just like, man, he's cooking. Yes, when he's on, he's money, right? I mean, the dude just knocking down threes and driving to the basket and hitting the midi and cross the dudes up. Like he's fun to watch, right? He's a great watch when he's on and when he's cooking. But again, the role, the opportunity, the attempts, the usage, right? The lack of defense, you start making a checklist of all the reasons why you don't want to sign him. And it's like, a player we don't need, right? Like, again, like I know some people might look at it like cut Jalen Trufino or cut Bronny James or cut whomever, right? But they're looking at like it through a biased lens rather than like one, both of those guys are incredibly young and have the upside and potential that Lonnie just doesn't have. I mean, Yanni, I was going to say Bronny, but, and then Lonnie kind of melded them together. But Lonnie Walker, right, is, again, he's closer to his ceiling than he is his floor. Where Bronny James, Jalen Hood-Schifino, they're two guys that still have a ton of growth, ton of room, ton of potential, right? Will they ever be the offensive player that Lonnie Walker is? Maybe not, but they're probably going to be better overall, defensively. And if they can have a reliable three-point shot, that's just more usage than what you need from Lonnie Walker. And that's also later on down the road. That isn't right now. That's 3, 4, maybe 5 years from now. That's not this season. We're looking for Bronny James to be a big role, play a big part on this team. If that was the case, then maybe they would look at Lonnie Walker, but that's not the case, right? Like you're flushed with guards. You have plenty of guards. You have your development guys, right? Like where does Lonnie fit in? Like where can you slot him in to make it make sense? There doesn't, right? Can't play the three. He's too small for the three. So you're looking at the 2 guard. You're not playing him over Max Christie. Again, Max Christie just better defensively. Yes, he's not the insane athlete, and we don't know if he's going to be the three-point shooter and scorer, but he's 40% in catch-and-shoot threes. Right? Also, he's being paid, so he needs to start playing a role. And then he's not going to play over Austin Reeves. However you feel about Austin Reeves is better than Lonnie Walker. And then same thing with D'Angelo Russell, same thing with Gabe Vincent. Again, 2 guys that just, you're not playing Lonnie Walker over. So you're basically just having Lonnie Walker on the bench on a vet minimum just to have him sit on the bench, where you're better off just keeping a young guy, keeping a Bronny, keeping a Jalen Hood-Schifino who can get development and grow and play in the G League and all that stuff and isn't going to complain and cry that like, oh, I'm not getting minutes, or no, why did you bring me on this team for me never to play? I don't think it makes any sense. And I don't really get why. Like usually I get it, like even if I disagree with the consensus, right? Usually I'm like, yeah, but I see why. This, I'm like, why are people losing their minds over the Lakers not signing signing Lonnie Walker? The only conclusion that I think it is, outside of the nostalgia, is I just think people want the Lakers to do anything, right? And the fact that this is just another guy that was available that signed elsewhere that people are looking at and going, man, the Lakers couldn't even bring in Lonnie Walker, right? Rather than understanding, it doesn't make any sense. Even if the Lakers pulled off a trade, Lonnie Walker probably doesn't make any sense, right? So again, it's just I just feel like it's people that want something just to have something, just to say oh, well, at least we signed Lonnie Walker. It's well, what is Lonnie Walker doing for the Lakers? He's probably not even going to see the court this season. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are you look, I don't know why people are freaking out on Lonnie Walker. He makes no sense. Or do you look at it and go, yeah, no, you're wrong. Lonnie Walker, he's this guy. He should be playing. He should be starting. He should be the number 1 scoring option. I don't know why anyone would want Lonnie Walker right now. I like Lonnie Walker, but again, it's just if he was that great, somebody would sign him. He was already on the Lakers, right? I don't know. But again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me not. We enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.